Here is the easiest way to defeat the Ice Vellumental in Paper Mario the Origami King, and also backup strategies, what to do in case things don't go exactly as planned. In the first turn of the fight, what you'll want to do is line up the panels so that you pass by the treasure chest and you finish on an attack panel. You really want to pass by the treasure chest on the first turn because the on switch is there, and you need this on switch to activate the Fire Vellumental later and also for the 1000-fold arm technique. You want to finish on an attack panel, and then you'll go over to your items and use a fire flower. You could use either a regular fire flower or a shiny fire flower. On this turn, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't even matter if you get the action commands correctly for the fire flower on this turn. The boss will use the polar roller attack when it is its turn, and you can press the A button to block it. In the second turn, now that you have the on switch available, since you got that from the treasure chest in the first turn, you want to line up the panels so that you pass by an on switch and you finish on a Fire Vellumental magic circle. You'll use the Fire Vellumental's ability that will summon Moltres, and Moltres will use Flamethrower on the boss, and that will cause the cube of ice that's surrounding the boss to melt. Every single time during this fight, whenever the boss covers itself in this ice shield, what you'll want to do immediately is get to an on switch and finish on the Fire Vellumental magic circle. You'll have to do this several times during the fight. After this, it will be the enemy's turn, and the boss will use the attack Bear Claw. You can press the A button to block this to take a bit less damage. On the third turn of the fight, now that you have thawed the boss, what you want to do is line up the panels so that you pass by an on switch and you finish on a 1000-fold arm technique circle. Once you get here, you'll activate it, and then as always, you press R and L together, then you mash the A button to give a lot of damage to the boss. This is where the majority of the damage to the boss is going to come from. After you use the 1000-fold arm technique on the boss and you mash it a lot, when it's the enemy's turn, it will be too dizzy to attack, so more Pokemon references in this boss. It will now be your fourth turn, and this is the most difficult turn of the fight to get perfect by far. If you don't get this turn perfect, that's okay, the fight will just be a little bit longer, but if you could get this turn perfect, then the boss fight will end a little bit sooner. In this turn, all that matters is getting to an attack panel, so you could bring the attack panel right up to the first tile that Mario will step on. Once you're on this attack tile, what you'll want to do is go to items and use a shiny fire flower. To get this round perfect, you have to get all of your action commands on the Fire Flower attacks perfect. All 4 of them. You have to have the excellent message pop up. I find that what helped me here was muting my volume and just really focusing all of my attention on when the fireball forms in Mario's hand. When the fireball starts to get bigger, that's when you press the A button. If you could get the action command perfect for all 4 of these fireballs, that's great. The rest of the fight will be easier and it'll end sooner, but if you can't do that, if you make a mistake, that's okay. The fight will just take 1 extra turn. It's no big deal. After this, it will be the boss's turn again, and the boss will use the Glacier Beam attack. You can press the A button to block this to take a bit less damage. Since the boss is going to be encased in ice again, we're going to follow the same strategy again. We'll line up our panels so that we pass by an on switch and we finish on a Fire Vellumental magic circle. If the Fire Vellumental magic circles are encased in ice, what you'll want to do is switch from rotating the rings to sliding the slices, and you'll have to slide the Fire Vellumental circle with ice on top of it, either across the middle or across the outside of the board, and that uses up 1 of your turns. When it's the enemy's turn, the boss will use the Bowler Bear attack, which doesn't do too much damage. But if you press the A button to guard, then you'll take slightly less damage. The boss is now thawed, and it is your 6th turn. So what you want to do here, since the boss is thawed, line up your panels so that you pass by an on switch and end on a magic circle for the 1000-fold arm technique, and you'll use the 1000-fold arm technique and deal a lot of damage to the boss again. When it's the enemy's turn, the boss will again be too dizzy to attack, and by now its HP should be pretty low, so it will start using its special attack. It will use Ice Maze, it will scramble the rings, and then it will start charging up to use its special attack on you. When you see a screen like this, before the boss starts scrambling the rings, you have to memorize the exact path that is on your screen, because that's the only solution that will work. You'll have to memorize this. You have to do this in order to beat the boss. One easy way to memorize this is take a look at where you'll finish, where the 1,000-fold arm magic circle has to be, and take a look at what turns you make. So know in the outer ring you go straight. Know in the second ring you turn left. Know in the third ring that you pass by the on switch, and on the inner ring, after you pass the on switch, you'll turn right. So when it comes time to unscramble these rings when it's your turn, you'll have to set up the rings so it is exactly as it was before the boss scrambled it. If you are able to do this successfully, which you have to do in order to beat the boss, then you will pass by the on switch and you will finish on the 1,000-fold arm technique magic circle. If the rest of the fight went perfectly and you got the excellent message to pop up on all 4 of your shiny fire flower attacks, then this will be the end of the fight. If there were any mistakes at all during the fight, then you'll have to do this one more time. The boss will use Ice Maze again, scramble the rings again, and you'll have to set up the rings exactly as they are shown. Then you'll pass by the on switch, get to the 1,000-fold arm technique magic circle, and then you'll defeat the boss. Hopefully this guide has helped you. Please let me know in a comment if it has. Please subscribe for more of my content, and enjoy your game.